Welcome everyone. This is session 4 of digital fabrication and model making. We're going to be looking at digital unfolding. Specifically, we're going to learn how to make this paper sphere using Rhino. I'm going to show you um, how to model the sphere, how to unfold it, how to add the tabs, and how to prep that laser cut file. So let's just get started. Um, as usual, I am in Rhino. I have made my sphere. This is a 10 inch in diameter sphere. First thing I want to do is I want to contour my sphere. So I'm going to select it, type in contour. I'm going to start from the bottom quadrant of the sphere all the way up, and I'm going to make half an inch increments. Enter. Alright, I have that. For now, I can go ahead and hide my sphere. I'm not gonna need it for now. Alright, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create some straight sections throughout the radius of my sphere, or the diameter of my sphere. I'm gonna select everything, and I'm gonna type in the loft command, L-O-F-T, and everything looks right. We're going in. It doesn't really matter as long as everything is going in the same direction. Everything looks good. Press enter again. Then this command box, this dialog box is gonna show. I want to make sure I choose straight sections. This is very important to be able to make unfoldable surfaces. So straight sections, and everything else looks fine. I'll go ahead and hit OK. I'm gonna hide my contour lines. I'm not gonna need those for now. So as you can see, we have now made a sphere into a series of straight sections. All right. So they only curve in one direction as opposed to both directions. This is gonna allow us to unfold them. Okay. So next thing I want to do is I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna type in explode to separate each of my segments. Explode, enter. Then as you can see, now these have become individual pieces. Okay, now I'm gonna unroll these segments. I'm gonna start from the top or from the bottom, doesn't matter. Just make sure you know which order you're going, which direction you're going. And I'm gonna type in unroll surface, enter. And I have my surface selected. I'm gonna hit enter again, and there it is. So I have now taken this section and unfolded, and now it has become a 2D surface. I'm gonna do the same thing with the rest of my segments. I'll do it with this. Make sure I don't lose it. If you don't wanna get confused as to what you have done, I'm gonna select these two and hide them for now. Do the next one, unroll, and so on. You're gonna do the same thing for every single section. But for now, let me work with these three. I would like to show you how to add tabs so that we can manually interlock these sections once we laser cut our pieces. So I'm gonna start by drawing a box that represents imagine if I were to unroll one of these guys, right? So I'm gonna make this to be about 10 inches in length and about 0.5 or half an inch in height. Alright, so this represents one of my strips. Then I'm gonna draw little tabs on it. The tabs are gonna look, could be something like maybe half an inch, but say 1 inch. Actually, that's a little too big. Say by 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And I'm gonna divide the bottom of this. There's multiple ways I can do that. I can go ahead and place in a point here in the middle and a point there, and then I'm gonna use those two to split my object. Enter. And now I can get rid of that. Okay. So I have my first tab. Next thing I want to do is I want to make sure my tabs are aligned. I need one tab on the top and one tab at the bottom, but they need to be facing in opposite directions. So I'm gonna make a copy of my tab. Bring it down here, and I'm gonna make sure I flip this. So flip it once, but it's not quite the opposite. I want to make sure this is facing the other direction. So I'm gonna go ahead and mirror it in its middle axis, and I'm gonna erase my my previous tab. So I have two tabs now. I'm gonna place them top and bottom. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I want to make sure they align. I'm gonna select both of them, and with the align command, I'm gonna align them to the left of my previous geometry, left, and I'm just gonna align both of those to there. And also I'm going to align the top one using its bottom B to the top of this, and this tab I'm gonna also align the top of this geometry to that right there. Okay, so let me just change the color of this line so that you can see the difference. Let's make that a nice red. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and explode this geometry. We're gonna need it to be in separate segments to use our next command, which is array on curve, array curve. So it's asking me to select the objects to array. I'm gonna array my top tab, and I'm done selecting, so I'm gonna hit enter. And then the path curve is gonna be this guy, and I'm gonna make 13 copies of this. So as you can see, I have added tabs all across the top of my drawing here. I'm gonna do the same thing for the bottom. Array curve. Select the path, and it has 13. It's gonna use the same amount as I did last time, 13, and that's fine. I'm gonna delete this. So I have my tabs top and bottom. I can go ahead and get rid of these two lines now. Okay. I do want to make sure I connect all of my tabs. Okay, I can make one there and make another one there, another there. I can select both of them, and also using the array command, not just array, not array curve, just array. I'm gonna say I wanna array this on the x-axis, say 15 times, and only one on the y-axis, only one time on the z. Starting from this point and jumping all the way to the other side, and you see it has made copies of that line. So instead of like selecting and copying one by one, this is a quick way of getting to that same result. Okay, we're almost done doing our tabs. We just need one for the end so that we can connect the ends of our sections. Um, let's select one of these, and while pressing Alt, the Alt key, I'm gonna make a copy. I'm gonna rotate this guy 90 degrees. Let me place it here. That's our tab. I'm gonna make this tab a little longer. You'll see why I'm making it longer in a second. Once I apply it to my uh, target surface, you'll see why this is getting elongated. Let me do the opposite here. I'm gonna mirror it somewhere in the middle. I'm not sure where the middle is. I have my tab here. I want to make sure it's opposite. It's not quite opposite, so I'm gonna mirror it in the middle. I'm gonna get rid of the first one, and then I'm gonna align the left of this object to here. Okay, I'm gonna erase this reference line, and as you can see, it's opposite. Let's go ahead and select all of this and group it. Just type in group. All right, so we have created our tabs. So the way this works is basically all of my target surfaces are gonna have this array, and now the tabs are designed to interlock. So the bottom of this should then interlock with the top of my next tab. That's basically how this is gonna work. Okay, so now how do we apply our tab design to the surfaces we have unrolled? Very simple. We first need to create a base surface. We're gonna create a base surface from here to there. Let me turn on shaded mode so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're using this as a reference plane for our target plane. Now we're gonna use the command flow along surface. It's asking us to select the objects to flow along a surface. I select those. Enter. It's asking me to select the base surface, which is this guy, and then it's asking me to select the target surface, and make sure you select the edge near the matching corner. If you notice, if you remember, I selected it somewhere here, so I want to do the same thing. Let's put it somewhere here, and as you can see, I have now, if I were to hide the surface, I have now applied my tab design to my own roll surface. And notice how short this tab is, even though we elongated it. So we might want to exaggerate it even a little more so that it's easier for us to handle once we laser cut these pieces. Let's go back. Let me go back to my drawing. I'm going to bring the points by tapping on this show objects control points. I'm gonna pick those. I'm gonna move them from here to here. Then I'm gonna make them just twice as long. Let's do the same thing with this side. Show points on the object and move them from there. Actually, from there to there. All right, let's do it again. Flow along surface. This is what I want to flow along. This is my base surface, and this is my target. Interesting. It did the command, but it put all the short tabs in the short end, which is not what we wanted. So let's just do it again. Flow along surface, select this from here to here. Oh, along surface from my base to my target. Didn't work again. Let's do it one more time. Here we go. Now it's what we wanted. So you're basically going to apply the same logic to every tap that you unroll from your sphere. Um, so at the end, you'll end up with something that looks like this. These are 9 of those unrolled surfaces. That would be the top 9 here. Um, you don't have to do the bottom half necessarily, because it's gonna be, you could simply mirror this half this way, but also keep in mind you have to do one more mirrored before you call it a day. Let's do it this way as well. Why am I suggesting this? If you notice on the taps that we unroll and you put them next to each other, the taps, they match, right? Like they complete each other. But if I only mirrored for the second half, if I only mirror in one direction, you've noticed that these they don't quite match, right? They wouldn't, they don't interlock the same way these do. So this is open at the bottom, this is open at the top, this is open at the bottom and also open at the bottom. That means it will not work. So that's why we want to mirror them twice. So if I delete that and I bring over these, so this would represent the bottom half of my sphere, and now these do interlock the way they're supposed to, right? We have, sorry, we have bottom open and top open, and that's gonna make this whole thing work. The last thing that you want to do is you want to nest all of these so that they fit nice and snug on your sheet of material. Way you can do this is maybe you can you know, set them up in between like this. This will save you a lot of laser cut time and a lot of material and money at the end. You can even do something like this. There we go. And so on. So you get the idea. So you'll go ahead and do the same thing with all of them, get them as close together, and you'll be ready to laser cut and to assemble your sphere. All right, I hope this was helpful to you all.